Hello and welcome to my presentation on my Capstone project website. My name is Ariel Shirley. In the following video, we will be covering the following topics: project summary with target users and needs analysis, course concepts, learning objectives, summary of iterative design process with beta testing and results, formative evaluation with expert one-to-one and small group reviews, and the final project. The target users for this training course are library staff members at Miami University who may come into contact with students and community members who may be affected by mental health issues. This training course was created in order to provide relevant information and resources for staff members who may encounter students and community members suffering from stress, depression, anxiety, trauma, or other mental health-related issues. With this in mind, training has been provided so that staff members feel that they are properly prepared to discuss these issues and refer community members to appropriate resources as needed. The training course will be open and accessible to staff members throughout the duration of their employment at Miami University libraries. Quiz answers will be available for review, but will be logged for edits and resubmission after the course is completed. Course concepts include the signs and symptoms of common mental illnesses, common factors that can put students and community members at risk of mental health issues, facts and statistics related to campus and college-based mental health issues, strategies for supporting affected community members, and resources and guides to referring and further supporting affected community members. After completing this training course, staff members should be able to recognize and define the basic signs and symptoms of mental health issues and distress, identify and describe the common risk factors related to mental health issues in regards to college students, determine and apply the best strategy for supporting those affected by mental health issues, and successfully assess when a referral to a campus-based or community-based resources is needed. I began the iterative design process by completing a needs-based assessment and a project proposal for my intended training program. The process involved determining the overall learning needs of the intended population, the goals and objectives of the training program, as well as the overall design and intended content of the training course. Next, I completed a project proposal outlining the nature, goals, and intended outcomes of the training course. Then I began the actual design and creation of the training course prototype. This involved researching and obtaining relevant course information and resources, determining and creating course materials and activities, as well as the physical layout and design of the course website. After the website prototype was completed, I then moved on to the beta design process. This involved creating a short Google Forms survey designed to determine the overall effectiveness and practicality of the training site. Questions included multiple choice, short answer, and Likert scale responses. Questions included items used to determine the familiarity with course concepts and design, thoughts and feelings on ease of use and course structure, and course effectiveness and likability. Beta test surveys were delivered via email and were completed online on respondents' personal computers. The survey population included 7 members with 3 males and 4 females, all within the ages of 24 to 30 years of age. After the beta test was completed, it was determined that the following changes needed to be made to the course website. Access to course surveys and course materials needed to be changed to provide wider availability, and 2 resource links needed to be changed in order to fix broken and missing connections. Overall, survey respondents found the course to be easy to use in terms of navigation and layout, as well as in accessing and completing course materials and activities. Specifically, 100% of the respondents thought that it was easy to make my way through the course, that the course kept my attention, and that the course made sense to me. 60% of the respondents thought that the interactive elements of the course were effective, and 80% of the respondents thought that the use of mixed media was effective. After the beta test was completed, it was determined that further evaluation of the interactive elements of the course was needed. Since only Likert scale questions were used to determine the effectiveness of this variable, determination was made during the formative evaluation process. After completing the beta testing portion of the design process, I moved on to the formative evaluation. This process involved an expert review, a one-to-one review, and a small group review. A field test was not completed due to time constraints. First, I completed an expert review with a subject matter expert. The SME for this formative evaluation was a master's level clinician with a thorough background in psychology and mental health training. For the expert review, I developed a short questionnaire through Google Forms. The questionnaire was used to determine the accuracy, clarity, and appropriateness of the presented course material. After completing the expert review, the following recommendations were made. The amount of required external resources and video material should be lessened in order to maintain student attention and interest in the course. Many of the course sections included 10 or more external resources and hour-long videos. This dense amount of material could be daunting to online learners, and a disclaimer message should be included stating that learners would not be qualified to make mental health diagnoses after completion of training. Overall, the SME determined that course materials and activities were appropriate for the intended audience and were up-to-date and realistic in terms of current mental health training and educational material. Corrections were made after the review was complete, with the following changes made to the course website. A small disclaimer message was included in the introductory page of the website, advising learners that they will only be qualified to assist community members in accessing mental health services on campus and within the community, and external resources were pared down and separated into two sections: required materials and optional further reading materials to allow for less of a cognitive burden on potential learners. Longer videos were left intact since I determined that they provided key information to potential learners. If further suggestions were made during the formative evaluation process, I would find appropriate replacements. All right, next I completed my one-to-one reviews. For my one-to-one reviews, I recruited 2 library staff members, D, a worker with little online course experience, and F, a worker with extensive online course experience. I chose these staff members because of their different levels of expertise as well as their general fit as potential learners for this training module. For the one-to-one review, I decided to conduct short interviews with each reviewer. The interview questions are focused on determining the accuracy, effectiveness, and usability of training materials. After completing the one-on-one reviews, the following recommendations were made. The hour-long videos were deemed too long and hard to focus on by both reviewers. They especially noticed that the opening video was hard to grasp since it introduced so many concepts and definitions. Both reviewers recommended including videos under 30 minutes and/or with more focused concept and details. Reviewers suggested providing key points and/or guiding questions for each section video in order to guide the viewer to remember and understand course concepts. Overall, both reviewers found the course website to be easy to navigate and easy to understand in terms of learning objectives and overall course goals. Reviewers also found the external resources to be just the right amount for learning needs and appreciated the distinction between required materials and optional items. The following changes were made to the course following the one-on-one reviews. The 2-hour-long videos were replaced with videos under 30 minutes long, both containing similar information to the prior video offerings, and key questions were introduced for each video in order to guide the learners through thinking and reflection during the learning process. Finally, I completed a small group review. 5 subjects were recruited from the library staff member pool. These included 3 men and 2 women ranging from ages 27 to 39. Familiarity with online coursework was evenly spread throughout the population, ranging from little experience to expert experience. Most members of the subject population have completed online training courses similar to the course provided, indicating a good fit for the required review process. For the small group review, I designed a short questionnaire for group members to complete after completing and reviewing the training coursework. The purpose of the questionnaire was to determine the effectiveness and accuracy of the instructional materials. After conducting the small group review, the following recommendations were provided. Coursework was a bit lengthy. Number of external resources is too high. Users thought that JEP credit was too low for the amount of work required in the course. For coursework of this length, usually 2 to 3 credits are provided. and users thought that the percentage needed to gain JEP credit was too high and should be around 70% to match similar JEP courses. Overall, respondents found the course to be easy to access and effective in terms of delivering course objectives. After completing this review, I decided to up the original JEP credit from 1.5 to 3 credits and move the percentage needed to pass from 80 to 70%. I also trimmed some of the external links and course videos in order to count down some of the course length, but determined that the majority of the course resources were important enough to remain intact to deliver the most effective learning as possible. After completing my formal evaluation, I made my final revisions to the course website. Let's take a look at the project website now. Okay, so here's the course website. This is the introductory page that each learner would access when logging onto the website. It includes the before mentioned disclaimer, along with some images, the learning objectives, and just general information about the course. And then the rest of the course is split up into 5 learning sections, with each section providing key learning objectives, as well as a video with key questions, some online training materials, a second video, and then a review quiz that the learners would complete after each section before moving on to the next. They would receive 5 points for each correct answer, and if they gain 70% or more on all quizzes, they will pass the course. And each section basically has the same layout and format, with part 5 being the only unique one. And this is just the final reflective activity, which is a longer quiz format where they will be given scenarios where they'll have to act out the part of interacting with a community member who has experienced a mental health issue or crisis. So hopefully you enjoyed this video and it was informative to you. If you have any questions, you can email me at shirleyam, SHIRLEAM, at miamiohio.edu. Thank you.